Hey guys, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 shittiest films of 2015. Here we go! Now, I only have 5 picks on this list due to the fact that I don't go out of my way to see all the shittiest movies that come out in a year, simply because I think it's a waste of time, like to see a movie that I saw a trailer for and I know that it's going to be shitty, or I think is going to be shitty to begin with, or you know, whatever. I just think it's a waste of time, and so I don't waste my time with shitty movies. So I have not seen a lot of films that are considered to be the shittiest films of 2015, such as 50 Shades of Grey, you know, Pixels, all those movies I haven't seen. But I did have 5 films that I was pretty excited for, and I was hoping were going to be good, but they just weren't. Okay, starting off at number 5, we have a third film in a horror trilogy that I don't think anybody was excited for, and I don't think anybody in the entire world liked it. Now, I actually didn't hate this movie as much as some people did. I've heard some people say it's one of the worst movies they've ever seen, one of the worst films ever made. I didn't hate it that much, but I still really didn't like this movie. Now, before this movie came out, I thought it sounded kind of interesting. The whole movie took place at a prison in the middle of the desert, and they were gonna make the centipede out of the prisoners. But this movie was just completely, overly violent. It was like, extremely, like, in your fucking face with the violence. It's like, okay, we get it. You're trying to be violent. You're trying to be offensive. The director tried to be so fucking offensive with this movie. Like, you have people fucking, like, breaking limbs, fucking eating their own shit. What else? There's a dude castrating somebody. What else was there? Just so much gross shit that's just so unnecessary. And it's like, this movie tries so hard to be offensive, but it's not offensive at all. It's just fucking disgusting. And the characters of this movie, the main prison dude, his character, Dieter Laser's character, Bill Boss, the prison warden, holy fucking shit, he was annoying. For the first, like, hour of this fucking movie, all it is him fucking screaming at the top of his lungs. Fucking, it's like, shut the fuck up! There is no point for his character to have been fucking screaming and shit. I mean, but the fat dude, I kind of liked his character. I forgot his real name. Dwight. This character wasn't too bad. It actually seemed like he was kind of trying, but there's really nothing redeemable about this film. I mean, and like, it's called The Human Centipede 3, but The Human Centipede is only in the last 15 minutes. He was really trying to figure out how to top it, but it really just fucking fell apart, and don't see this movie. Alright, let's move on to number 4. Now, I was pretty excited for this movie. You know, for some strange fucking reason, they filmed this... Okay, first of all, this film was directed by Oren Peli, who, if you don't know who he is a big producer for horror films, mostly with Blumhouse. And Oren Peli was the director of the original Paranormal Activity film, which is one of my all-time favorite horror films, and that was the only film he ever directed back in 2007. And he filmed this movie, Area 51, in 2009, and it's, as far as I know, it's been completed and, like, sitting on the shelf for 6 years until they finally decided to take it out and release it. I don't get why they did that. And apparently Oren Peli did, like, reshoots for this film in 2013, trying to get it just right. When I heard that, I thought, damn, this movie must be really good. It wasn't. I was vastly fucking disappointed with this movie. And for some reason, it was on Netflix for, like, a few weeks, and then they took it off. The plot to this movie sounded really interesting to me. You know, it's a found footage movie of these kids trying to break into Area 51. They could have done so much with this movie, but like for the first, like, half of this movie, It was okay. I was into it. Because I figured that it would lead up to a good finale. But really, they're only in Area 51 for, like, the last, like, 15 minutes of the movie. Okay, it's called Area 51, but they're hardly even in Area 51. Hardly anything interesting happens until, like, the last 10 minutes, and the ending was stupid as fuck. And the after credit scene, I don't know what it means, and I don't really give a shit. The acting wasn't very good. There's so many elements of the plot that were not explained at all. For example, like the main kid, Reed, I think his name was, like, something happens to him toward the beginning, and, like, he keeps saying, oh, I gotta get into that place, man. Something's drawing me toward the base. But, like, they don't explain what happened, they don't show what happened, and they don't explain what the fuck is going on. Okay, at my number 30 spot, we have the third film in an action trilogy that is completely unnecessary and should have never been made. That's right, I own this motherfucker on Blu-ray. Why? Because I'm a dumbass. It was actually $6 on Black Friday. It was a shitty-ass copy of The Fugitive. That's all it was. And for Taken 3, they got the same exact director from Taken 2, Olivier Megaton. Fuck, I hate this guy. He is such a shitty director. He directed, like, Taken 2 and 3, Columbiana, Transporter 3. I wish this dude would just get the fuck out of Hollywood. His films suck. I mean, he thinks that, like, every time somebody shoots somebody or every time someone jumps over a fence or something, they have to do it in 12 different takes, 12 different cuts. It's so stupid and shitty. Nobody likes it. This film was so fucking stupid. Don't waste your time. Just go back and watch Taken 1. Alright, guys. My second worst film of 2015 is... Do you know what this movie did? It took the first two movies, raped them to death, and then threw them into a fucking ditch. Now, I am a huge fan of the first two Terminator movies. Both of these movies are in my top 10 films of all time. T2 is my favorite action movie of all time. And I have been waiting 6 years for another Terminator sequel to hit theaters. And holy fuck. I have no clue what the writers of this movie were thinking as they were writing the script. I don't get what the fuck they were doing. As the screenwriters were writing this movie, they were thinking, man, how do I piss off Terminator fans, okay? We're not actually going to try to make a Terminator movie. We're just going to try to make a movie that anally rapes all the other movies in the ass. And there's almost nothing good about it, except... almost all the CGI is bad, with the exception of the CGI Arnold. I thought that was okay. That was actually decent CGI. That's probably the best thing about the whole movie. Probably the best thing about the whole movie. And I've heard a lot of people say, like, oh, at least it was better than Terminator 3 and Salvation. I actually strongly disagree with that. At least T3 and Salvation acknowledge that the first two movies actually happened. And it's been announced that there are going to be 2 sequels to this movie. Oh, shit. I pray to God that they don't make sequels to this movie, because James Cameron gets the rights back to Terminator in, like, either 2017, 18, or 19. And maybe he can make a sequel and make it, you know, fucking great. According to what he said about this movie, that's probably not going to happen. I saw a video of him on the internet saying, oh yeah, it was really good, yeah. He says, you are going to love this movie. Okay. That means either one of two things. One, James Cameron was on some, like, cocaine when he did that video, or something, on some sort of drugs, or he was paid a lot of fucking money to say that. And if you want to hear me bitch more about Terminator Genisys, you can go to my Terminator Genisys Rant review I did back in July. If you want to, check that out. Okay, here we go. My number one worst, shittiest piece of shit film of 2015 is... Drum roll, please. I am a huge fan of the first Sinister film. This is actually one of my favorite horror films of the past 5 years, and in my opinion, one of the best horror films of the past 5 years. This was just such a great, well-done horror film, not just on a technical level, but on so many different levels. Acting was good, the directing was great, the editing was excellent, and it was actually very scary in my opinion. And one of the last movies that really did get me, you know what I mean? When I read there's going to be a sequel coming out, I was excited, you know? I tend to like a lot of horror films that people don't like. I don't know why. And so I figured, no, it can't be that bad. I watched the sequel to this. Ah! Looked like I was just trying to take a shit. Sinister 2 is one of the worst horror sequels I have ever seen in my whole fucking life. There is almost nothing good about it. I don't think there is anything good about it. Okay, good things about it. The cop character from the first one, I liked his character, and I did like that he was back in this movie. And the Super 8 found footage tapes in this movie were kind of entertaining. That's it. That's all the good in this entire movie. This movie was just so bad. I mean, it wasn't even really about the ghosts and, you know, the Magul and shit. It was just about this family that we don't give a shit about. This film focuses so much on those shitty-ass kid actors that, like, oh god. The first Sinister film was very captivating. The plot was very interesting. It was always moving. This one's slow as shit, and the plot isn't interesting at all. The only time I was actually interested about anything in this movie was when the cop was on screen. Deputy so-and-so. I don't even think they stated his actual name in either of the movies. It was basically a shitty-ass remake of Children of the Corn. I actually read that the director actually took a lot of inspiration from Children of the Corn, like when he made this movie. Yeah, it's pretty fucking apparent. Guys, don't ever watch Sinister 2. It's a piece of shit. Don't waste your fucking time. Okay, there it is. Holy shit. Alright, those are my top 5 worst films of 2015. The films that really pissed me the fuck off. And so, yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to, subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of movie-related stuff. Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, Blu-ray updates, and, you know, anything to do with movies. And if you want to, down below in the comments, tell me what your top 5 or top 10 worst films of the year were. Alright, guys, I will see you later.